What is going on, everybody? I am back today to talk about a film that was released this year directly to streaming. It premiered last year, I believe, at TIFF Film Festival with really positive reviews, and I've been looking forward to watching this for a while now. I've had it added to my watch list, and I know that when it was released directly on VOD in I think May, and you can pay to rent this thing for like $3.99 on YouTube right now. And it was definitely a film I was looking forward to checking out. I'm excited to tell you about it today, and the movie I'm going to be discussing is Riceboy Sleeps. Riceboy Sleeps is directed by Anthony Shim. A South Korean mother and son struggle with their new life in 1990s Canada and the growing rift between them. So, I didn't really know much about this movie other than I knew that it was a mother and son dynamic, that it premiered at TIFF last year, and so I was really excited to watch this movie, and I absolutely adored this film. This quickly became one of my favorite movies that I've watched this year, period. I think between the cinematography, the performances, the overall message of the film, there's something in this movie that can resonate with anyone who watches it, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in my review. So at the beginning of the film, we get a little bit of an expositional dialogue about this mother and son. The mother's name is Choi Seung-yoon, and the son's name is Dong-Hyun, and we're told that when Choi Seung-yoon gets pregnant, that she has her child, and she's dating this man, and they're living in Korea together, and he has, I believe they say he has paranoid schizophrenia, some array of mental health issues. And at the beginning of the film, we're told that he has committed suicide, and because of the laws in Korea, she was not allowed to get her son's citizenship. And so she ended up fleeing the country and coming to Canada to raise her child. And so she had to leave everything behind. She had no family. And at the beginning of the film, we see her and her son living together in Canada. And so we get him at a young age, probably I would say like 5 or 6 years old in the early 1990s. And then we jump forward 9 years and get him more in his teenage years and what she's going through there. And the film kind of progresses us through their life together. We see this mother and son dynamic and kind of the struggles that they have to go through, their relationship as a whole, outside factors that impact their relationship, and that's the entirety of the film. So as I said, I absolutely adored this movie, and the main reason for that is the incredible performances in this film. The lead actress that plays Choi Seung-yoon is absolutely phenomenal. She gives an incredible performance, so nuanced, everything through her facial expressions and her bodily movements. You can just feel her pain and her struggles, but you can also feel just how powerful and incredible of a woman that she is throughout the movie and the decisions that she makes to take care of her son. Very early on, we get things like she's enrolling him in a school. He is the only Korean child in this school, and so he's surrounded by a slew of white people. They're constantly mocking him for the food that he's eating. They're constantly throwing out slurs at him, which is where the title of the film comes from. And so there's all these things that are kind of thrown around at him to kind of mock who he is and where he comes from. And we can see Dong's insecurities really early on in the movie as well. Even as such a young kid, he doesn't want to take Korean food to school because he's embarrassed by the type of food that he has. He asks questions about the way he looks to his mother and just feels like he doesn't belong in any way, shape, or form. And what you can see from Choi Seung-yoon is that she had to give up everything about her life to take care of her child, and she is going to fight hand over fist to make sure that he gets the life that he deserves. And then when you jump forward into his teenage years, he speaks Korean a lot less. He's definitely appropriating to American culture a little bit more because he wants to fit in. There's another Korean girl in his classroom that gets picked on extremely in that time period. And Choi Seung-yoon works at this factory throughout the entire time. She works really hard to take care of her family. And she's building a relationship with this man who I think does deliveries to the place that she works. The two of them become really close. He is Korean, but he was adopted by a white family, so he wasn't raised in Korea. But the two bond over that really early on. And so you get that extra layer. And the second part of the film is there's a big emotional moment that happens, and I don't want to give that away, but it kind of changes the dynamic of the film and really makes you think about just life as a whole and the decisions that you can make as a parent. And I thought what was so brilliant about this film is that you get a lot of movies that show relationship dynamics between parents and their children. And not often do you get a movie that is about a person that had to immigrate to a place because they were forced to, and then still has to work so hard just to provide a life for their kids, and that despite how life is for them, for So-young's character, she is willing to stop whatever she is doing and whatever hardship that she is going through to make life great for her son. And you can tell that she feels horrible about the fact that her husband committed suicide. She's very lonely. She's trying to keep herself built up to keep that life for her and her son. And when her son hits his teenage years, he's definitely less understanding about the situation, and you can tell that he just wants to be a normal kid and he wants to fit in with everyone around him while not necessarily taking into effect the things that his mother had to do for him while he was being raised. And I think the film juggles all of those dynamics so well and so beautifully. The cinematography of this film really accompanies it too. Most of the film up until the third act is shot in a boxier aspect ratio, and then in the third act of the film it opens up to 16:9, which I thought was a really interesting choice. But when you watch the film in context of the subject matter, I think you'll completely understand as to why that aspect ratio opens up. But I think the between the cinematography and the color palette in this film, it really accompanies the mood and kind of draws you in immediately to these characters and to this world. And it's such a deeply emotional and powerful film. You know, some of my favorite films of the past couple years, I've talked about After Sun and The Quiet Girl, or these movies about really simple but beautiful relationship dynamics between human beings. And I love when those can be conveyed in a way that doesn't feel schlocky or like hallmarky, when it feels very natural and realistic. And that's what I liked about this, despite how heavy some of the things get in this movie, which I know some of the people that have complained about this movie have complained about one of the specific plot twist moments in the film. But to those people out there who have seen it, it's life. It's the way life happens. Shit gets thrown at you consistently. You don't know when something's going to blow up. You don't know when something is going to get bad. And you kind of just have to keep going. And what I love about this movie is it doesn't glamorize the way that life hits you. It doesn't ever take a moment to just say like, oh, everything's going to be peachy keen for forever. Because that's not how life works. But what it does show is brief moments of joy amidst the chaos, which is what life is all about. We get moments of joy amidst the chaos of existence, because it does get hard out there for people and it can get really difficult. And I think that the way that the director handles all this material is so brilliant. And really, as soon as I finished this movie, I could not stop thinking about it. And I was just so upset that it didn't get a wider release, especially in America, that we didn't get a wide release, because I would have loved to have seen this in the theater. And I'm hoping now, you know, reviewing this movie, hopefully it can get shared a little bit and more people will watch it, because I think this is a film that more people definitely need to see. It's saying something important. It has something that I think every person can watch and pull something from. It's absolutely beautiful. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's available on YouTube right now to rent for like $3.99. You can get it online, pay for it to rent it. It's 100% worth supporting. It's one of my favorite movies of the year. So have you seen Riceboy Sleeps? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I thought this movie was absolutely brilliant, from performances to cinematography to atmosphere. It was just absolutely incredible, and a movie I won't stop thinking about for a very long time. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, it helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.